I guess we're all kind of looking for ways to be healthier and to work out with maybe not having a chance to go into our gyms. How should we evaluate at-home fitness plans?
I think you have to figure out what your need is first, almost versus what your want. Certain workouts may be appealing to you, but is it going to be conducive either to your schedule or to the equipment that you have? Maybe you need workouts that specifically require no equipment. And then from there, you have to figure out what you're interested in, because if it's not fun, obviously you're not going to do that. So you kind of have to find, the right puzzle pieces to make up the right program for you. But working out from home, you can absolutely get the same amount of results in the gym if everything comes together for you. Point. So something else to look for is making sure that whatever program you're selecting online has either a support community or a coach that comes with that. So you still have a go-to person to ask those types of questions to, and have some form of check-in or accountability piece.
How do we find success after our first blush of the new year?
I feel like I've been talking about this a lot this week to several of my clients and, just to people who really want to know, how do you keep that motivation going? And sometimes I feel like I'm the bubble burster, but when your motivation is there and when you're charged and when you're ready to go, that is the most important time that you develop the habits and the schedule. So, making sure you're scheduling in your workouts, making sure you're taking time to do meal prep, because every action, every step that you take is helping you develop that habit. And habits are going to be what ultimately carries you over once you lose that motivation, or not even necessarily lose the motivation, but life takes over, right? You're 2 weeks prime into your program and you're feeling great and you feel like you're really on track. And then, you have to take your dog to the vet or your kids get sick. You have to do extra work for your job. Life takes over. And so, I always say what's more important than motivation is developing discipline. And the more you do the habits, the more it will help you create discipline. So you will do all the things anyways, even when you don't feel like it.
I always talk about what is your intent? We all intend in the morning of each day to follow whatever program we had, to exercise, to meditate, to whatever. We all intend to do it. And our goal should be how do we fulfill our intention every day? Whatever the intention is, why didn't we that particular day? And how can we change it the next day? And that's the key for me.
Right. And what you're saying right there has so much to do with your mindset when it comes to health and wellness, because you're always going to have things coming at you in life. But if you look at your health and your fitness from the standpoint of, this is my stress reliever, is doing this is my stress reliever versus eating a bag of chips. People think they stress eat. Well, why not create the lifestyle where the stress reliever is your exercise?
Change the way you're handling that moment of discomfort.
Correct.
How are we comforting ourselves?
The mental side of health and fitness is way more challenging than the physical side. And so, right?
Honestly true. There was a point where I thought, no, it's just all chemicals and it's just all physics. And I have evolved to thinking that it is so much more mental than I ever felt it was before. And I don't even mean emotional. Like I don't necessarily think I draw emotional support from chips, but it definitely is my mindset of pushing past, like, for, let's say, binge eating, pushing past this 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock. I must have a snack right now. I must. And when I find either I'm outside of the home or I've done some other thing, it's like a needle on a record. If I push it forward some way, and that's all up here, and I'm totally on board with what you're talking about.
Right. And that
How do
kind
you
of
do that?
Well, that led us to start our own business because, as a personal trainer, you write up programs and you administer the programs. And I was finding that a lot of clients were paying for services, were paying for nutritional products and sliding them under their bed to collect dust. And so I started to realize, okay, this is something bigger than just not being motivated. And so, when we started our online business, we give them their resources, the workouts that they do at home, their nutritional products, and they do everything at home. We serve as not only a virtual trainer to make sure they're doing everything properly, but to help them with the mental side of health and fitness, developing that discipline, trying to reduce the unhealthy habits, working out, with their schedule, all of that stuff, because I feel like that piece is more difficult than physically doing the action.
You're totally speaking my language. I do believe that when it comes to getting the blood sugar down, getting the blood pressure, all of those different things, you do have to, obviously working out is important, but the fitness, the nutrition component is super important. Like, how do you weight it? What should we be focusing on more, the movement or the food, or, you know what I mean? It's a lot of us aren't, I can walk and then I can have a brownie is not going to cut it for a lot of us anymore.
I know. Well, I'm a firm believer in all things moderation. So, I don't believe you should ever deprive yourself too much, but you do want to 80% of the time focus on healthy nutrition. And the nutrition piece should be the thing that we tackle first. And it's also the more challenging, I think, just for us as a society, right? Your movement is kind of your bonus, but if you work out every single day, but you eat like crap, you're not going to get any healthy results that way. And so, one of the first things that we say is, you said, set your intent, always figure out what your why is. And weight loss should be a sidebar from that. It has to be deeper. Why, if your goal is to lose weight, well, why do you want to lose weight? Because you want to keep up with your kids. For me, I started really working out in college, and my first why was I want to avoid the freshman 15. And that didn't last very long. I worked out for like 2 weeks, and then I was done. But then, that same year and the year following, both of my parents had bypass surgery, like within a year of each other. I tell you what, my why changed like that. Then I was like, okay, my genes are working against me. I need to figure out how to maintain a healthy lifestyle, if I want to stay healthy, and I want to avoid that down the road. And so you have to really figure out what that deep rooted why is that will keep you on track every single day. And that might change over time too, and that's okay, but it has to be something that's bigger than just, I want to look better. I want to, see the number go down on the scale or whatever.
Right. I don't know who I heard say this, but your goal has to be bigger than smaller thighs.
Yeah, I agree. 100%.
And before we go, I just want to say a lot of us are restarting, like I said, and this is the first couple of weeks of the whole thing. And it's the worst because in terms of, let's say you're reducing sugar and it's just your cravings are screaming at you, or you've restarted some abdominal workout and it's like, I can't even move. When do you see the bitching like go down a little bit? So we're all brand new starting and like, oh, this hurts. Oh, my stomach. Oh, I want that, whatever it is. When, I'm sure you see clients go, okay, I hate this. I hate this. I hate this. Like, oh, wait a minute. I feel better. How long should we give ourselves that little bit? Okay, I'm a little better now.
Right. Well, they say it takes 21 days to make or break a habit. That's really what they're saying research has shown. I think it takes longer than that. I think there is a 90-day delay in your health and wellness journey. So everything that you're doing today, tomorrow, next week, even next month will feel hard. It will feel out of sync and you won't necessarily want to do it. But if you can push through those first 90 days, you'll start to feel better and maybe you'll start to look better and it will start to become more of a permanent part of your future, your lifestyle and the way you live every single day. And if I can just say one more thing, the biggest piece of advice that I have for people in 2021 is every day is a day one, because your journey is like this, right? There's times where you're like, oh, I'm totally on track. And then, the next month hits and you're like, oh, I'm doing nothing. I have no motivation. Don't feel like you have to wait until the next January 1st or even the following Monday. Every day that you wake up can be your day one to restart and restructure that journey. So again, you can move forward as a part of your healthy lifestyle.